So in this video on opportunity related functionality within Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales, we're going to cover off sequences, which are quite a powerful means of helping sellers convert more opportunities to end business and actually adding quite a layer of automation. Now, this is one in a series of videos we've done specifically on opportunity related features within Dynamics. You can see links to others in the series below. Also, if you've got suggested content ideas or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. Anyway, let's dive into the system. I'll show you what I mean by sequences. Right, so basically, if I select, so I'm in opportunities area, specifically open opportunities view. Nothing in the way of sequences on the top menu at the moment, but if I select a record, I get this item crop up on the top menu called sequences. And you can see I can connect sequences, disconnect sequences, view connected sequences. So what are sequences? And sequences are kind of sequences of activities that are sort of linked together and pre-set up. And I can kind of invoke those and link them to an opportunity record. So if I say here I want to connect a sequence, I haven't got any at the moment, I've certainly not got any for opportunity records, but I can create one. And this isn't an I can as an admin, it is more of a general capability. You do need the correct security rights to do it, but it's not a thing that's hidden away in the back of the system that nobody else can touch. So if you've got the security rights, you can do this. And you can see here I've got an option to create new sequence. Now I'm going to keep this reasonably high level because there's quite a lot to sequences and this is designed to be a fairly brief primer on it. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but if I click create sequences, the first thing it's going to do is say to me, I've got all these sort of standard templates. Do you want to use one of those? So I could use one of those and modify it to suit my purposes, but I'm actually going to start from blank. So I just click on that and I'm going to give this a name. So I'm going to call this RB test. I can give it a description, and good idea to give it a description because you end up with a lot of sequences. You may lose track of which one does what. And then I need to link it to a specific record type, and I've got the opportunity to add it to a lead record opportunity account or contact. As this is an opportunity related video, it's going to be opportunity, and I select that. So that's my first step, and then I go to next, and we get this sort of canvas for creating our sequence. What I'm going to do is create a sequence and start with a task where I do a bit of research on an opportunity, perhaps as part of the qualification. I'm then going to have the next activity being an email I'm going to send out. I'm going to have a wait period after sending that email, and then I'm going to have a phone activity set up. So let's go and do that then. So sequence starts here, so that's the beginning, and then if I want to start adding stuff in, all I need to do is click on this plus icon, and then I've got some options here. I can send an email. When it says send an email, it's effectively composing an email for me to send, which I can then edit prior to it being sent, so it's not automatically sent. Same with a text message. I can set up a phone activity or have a task, but I can have an automated email, i.e. it just sends the email at that point. I don't have to get involved in that, and I can have an automation on text message. I can also set a wait time between activities. Now, what I said was I'm going to do the first item is to complete a task. So if I just add that, click on that, and then you see in the right hand side, I've got a dialogue appearing. So I'm going to give that a title. So let's say conduct research. Forgive my ultra slow typing, but there we are. It's not going to improve now. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to just X out of that. So that's my first activity to do some initial research. And then I want to send out an email. I don't want it to be an automated email in this particular case. So send an email. So I'm going to call this an intro email. I can give that a description, and then I can add an email template. Now, this assumes you've got some email templates set up, which this is a this is an out-of-the-box test system, so there are some templates set up. I'm just going to select randomly the follow-up to our meeting. Now, you can obviously set up your own templates and use those, and that's fine. So you can see it's a combination of predefined text with mail merge fields. So, I mean, it's not terribly relevant to what I'm trying to do here, but you get the general idea. So apply that template. And then I said what we would wait for a period of time. And by the way, just from that, I can use conditions. So I can use what we call advanced email conditions. So if you've got the email engagement capability set up, for example, you can sort of set conditions on whether the email is opened or links are followed, etc. So there's a certain amount of power on that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to go back to my steps. And so there's quite a lot to sequences, and it would take more than 10 minutes to cover it. So we'll perhaps do a specific video on that at some future point. So I think I said we've set a wait time after intro email. We don't go and follow that up straight away. So I'm going to have a wait time of, let's say, 3 days, give them an opportunity to come back to me. And once I'm happy with that, just X out of that. So then we just conclude with our final thing, which is to make a phone call. So and let's call that an intro call. And we have now created our sequence of activities, which was pretty quick to set up. The last thing we need to do, well, we need to save it for a start. And before it's available to us, I need to activate it, which I will do. Do I want to activate the sequence? I do want to activate the sequence, so let's do that. And it has successfully activated sequence RB test. So the other point is, now having set that sequence up, I could sort of ad hoc allocate that. So for example, if I could go to a list of opportunities, select the ones I want, and allocate that particular sequence to those opportunities. But I could connect those opportunities to a segment. Now, let's see, we've got a couple of segments that are already set up. I could choose one of those. Effectively, a segment is a group of records. So I can set up a segment. So I could set up a group of records that are owned by myself, Richard. And if I link the sequence to that, then it's automatically going to assign that sequence to those records. For the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to do that, but at least you're aware that that is potentially possible. So let's cancel out of that. Let's go back into our sales area. Let's go into our opportunities area as we were before. And we've got that now. I've got one called RB sequence test, conveniently enough. And if I want to, I can, let's just go back to that. Let's go back and we'll connect the sequence. So there's only one we've got available, and I'm just going to connect that. So that's the one we've just created. Connect that sequence to that, assign that, give it a second. Now, if I go to open that up, it may need a refresh. Now, straight away you can see there that I've got those activities that are automatically assigned, and I can see that I've got that task to conduct initial research. If I mark that as complete, you complete the sequence. This went well, and got it. And then we can see the next step is on that intro email to go out. If I go into that and just open that up, you can see that there is that template that we've used. So if I just come out of that, I'm not going to send that. It's a sandbox anyway. It's not going to go out. You can pretty much see that I've been able to set up that sort of automated sequence of activities, and I can either have it set up so it automatically applies to a group of specific records, or I can choose to apply it at a time of my own choosing. So I think there's quite a lot of power in that. I think it particularly if you're working with, if you're a sales manager, you've got a group of sellers that are relatively inexperienced, to kind of give them an optimum sequence of events that you want them to follow. I think that's really powerful in helping people convert more opportunities to end business. And I think there's also that scope for automating key tasks, particularly around sort of automatically sending out emails or texts at certain points. Now, I was about to say it's worth experimenting with. You do have to be super careful, because if you set something up that's going to send an email out, you can very easily end up sending emails out to people you didn't intend to send them out to. Over the years, I've seen many instances of clients that inadvertently sent out emails through automations that they hadn't quite understood. So just be careful, particularly with that automated email or that automated texting, just to test that out carefully. But I think potentially quite a powerful feature of Dynamics. I say now this is one of the series we've done specifically on functionality relating to opportunities within Dynamics. You can see links to others in the series below. Also, if you've got suggested content ideas or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. Anyway, thank you very much for your time today, and hopefully see you again soon.